Okay, so next I'm going to talk about Bring Me the Horizon. I still really, really like this band. I just felt their latest release was too different. They've gone through too big of a change. I mean, from Count Your Blessings, you could almost classify that as like deathcore, almost. Um, like Pray for Plagues. I mean, they in that album they had the breakdowns in it a lot, and then Suicide Season was my first exposure to them. So when I heard Count Your Blessings, I was like, oh, this is a lot heavier. That's cool. Um, so yeah, um, Suicide Season. That's still a really great album. It's different than Count Your Blessings, but I still really enjoy it. Um, Saw them live, and they were a lot heavier live actually than on their albums, which was great in my opinion. Um, yeah, but so on Suicide Season, I felt they went for more like a metalcore screamo approach. And then I heard It Never Ends, the single off their newest album, There Is a Hell, etc. Um, and it just was too. It was different. Um, on their newest album, There Is a Hell, etc. That album's kind of like split half and half for me. There's some songs that like Crucify Me, It Never Ends. It's like they're good songs. They almost have like too much random electronic like fill-ins. Um, Other songs I thought were really well done. Alligator Blood um, was a great song in my opinion. Fox and the Wolf was great. Yeah, so that album, I don't think Bring Me the Horizon sold out. I just think they went through a really big change, which was different. But yeah, they're still a really great band. I would recommend them to anyone. So yeah. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Disturbed. Now, I heard Down with the Sickness, 4th, 5th grade for me. That was like 2004, 2005, so I was like, everyone knows that song. I thought that was the funniest thing. So, I got into them about the same time as I got into Avenged Sevenfold, so like 2006. And then Indestructible came out, and I've got to say, I'm not like so invested in Disturbed. I mean, I have like 10 songs by them. So, yeah, so I got a couple songs off Indestructible. I was like, this is. It seems like all of their songs have the same feel. Like, there's not much originality in what they're making now. And with their last release, I don't even remember what it's called, but, drove down to Chicago, to see them and Avenged Sevenfold for free. Thanks, Nick. But, yeah, so it was, two great bands that sort of first got me started in metal, and then Disturbed, I hadn't really heard much of their new album, but I had heard really, same thoughts that I had, that all their stuff was really unoriginal now, and that it just, the songs didn't flow nicely, and so live, I mean, they've still got a good, cool stage presence now. I've seen them twice. But yeah, they're just hearing their new songs was just kind of weird, but it's not. It just, God, stupid computer. Yeah, it just feels like they don't have anything left to write about. So I don't know. Sorry, Disturbed, but you've hit a dead end, in my opinion. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about Escape the Fate. I saw these guys first live on Warped Tour for like 2 or 3 songs. I had, heard about them a little bit, didn't really know any of their songs. And I was like, oh, these guys are cool. So after Warped Tour, that was 2009, I started looking into them a little more. I got This War Is Ours, The Flood, My Apocalypse, and so I had first been exposed to This War Is Ours, and I really liked that. And then I went back and I saw, oh well, they have a different singer. They must have a different singer on this last album. And then I read the story about Ronnie and then Craig from Lost the Fall, They Were Alive. Getting kicked out of those bands and coming into Escape the Fate. And so I was like, okay, well, I still like both albums. So then, recently, a couple months ago, I started hearing, the hype for this new album that they were going to come out with. So I heard the first single off that, which I believe was Massacre. First thing I noticed right off the bat, wow, they copied the intro from Chelsea Smile by Bring Me the Horizon. So already I was like, alright, this is a little bit weird. And then it just wasn't the same. It was too, there wasn't the same, awesome guitar solos. There wasn't, the screaming as much. It reminded me it seemed like it had been done before already. So then I was like, alright, well, I hope this isn't, gonna be, the whole album is gonna be like this. So then I heard the next single, which was Issues, come out, and I thought it sounded like Linkin Park. And if I wanted to listen to Linkin Park, I could listen to Linkin Park, rather than Escape the Fate trying to be Motley Crue, the next Motley Crue, which, I don't know. I'm guessing what happened is, everyone's, whining about, oh, Craig ruins bands. Well, I don't know if that's the case or not, but I do know that the case is they switched record labels onto a very big record label, and I've read reviews about, people disliking this record label that they're on now. So, I think that's probably what caused this change from, a really cool Screamo. At first it was emo with a little bit of Screamo, and then it was Screamo, metalcore, and now it's mainstream, I don't even know what. So I listened to their, hoping for something better. I listened to their whole album on their MySpace, and I was like, okay, well, the only song I could actually listen all the way through was the Aftermath, which is the third guillotine, sorry. So yeah, I'm really sad. I was just getting into them. So sorry, Escape the Fate, but in my opinion, you become sellouts.